Welcome back to Global Media Network, LLC. Our primary motto is educate, enlighten, entertain. Our secondary motto is voices of the people, united we roar. Passionate World Talk Radio Network is a wholly owned subsidiary of GMN LLC. And today, special hosts on Breaking Point, special news report show with Jeannie White, station manager, and Lillian Caldwell, the founder of originally PWR TR Network. And today we're going to talk about the upcoming growth and what's going on at the station. So to get you started, I'm going to hand you over to the station manager, Jeannie White.
Well, thank you, Lillian, for that great introduction. I think that's terrific. Yes, there's a lot of things going on the station. I'm not sure what. I know that we have an event happening, a major event out in California, correct, Lillian?
That's right. October 25th. It will be streamed live from Sacramento. And it's a convention of the California charter schools. And also involves homeschooling. And for those people who don't know anything at all about charter schools, depending on which state you're in, the charter schools in California are free. They're for kids in elementary, middle school, and high school. And they're not taught in a typical classroom. It could be a one-on-one or one on 5 to 10 students, depending. And they are there because their parents feel that public schools are no longer teaching them what they need in order to get a job in the new technological future.
Right.
So it will happen on Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. California time, which Betsy Sloan tells me is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when we have the coordinates, i.e. the URL, we will provide it to you or point you to one of the social media platforms where you can listen to the live programming.
I think that's one good thing for the station happening out. That was part of our philosophy: educate, enlighten, and entertain. So this is the educational part of it, and finding that podcasting has so many different roles that you can use it for, and it does help the individual with many resources or training for any, like even going to school and how to search for something, how to talk to someone. It's just a major event that everyone should pay attention to because it does help with the educational part of a child.
Absolutely. And if you're interested, we have a new business page on Facebook, facebook.com/business/ and the name is Global Media Network LLC. Please go check it out, and it will have a lot of this information provided to you. We are consultants. We are educational consultants and trainers. That is what Global Media Network LLC stands for. And then we have the second part of it, which is Passionate World Talk Radio. The next big event is that we're going into a collaboratorship with another company who focuses on political programming. And we'll be bringing 3 of their programs over to Global Media Network, specifically dealing with political events, issues, opinions, perspectives. So please be on the lookout. The programs will probably start somewhere at the end of October, the beginning of November. Also, our recent guest, Frank King, will be coming back for another session on suicide prevention, because we know that everybody does not celebrate the holidays equally. For some people, the holidays are a difficult time for them to handle emotionally.
Mhm.
He'll be coming back giving advice and tips of how to deal with the holiday blues.
I think the tips are very important for people, because one little word can change it for someone. And know that there is help or resources there, and there's someone that perhaps will hold your hand for you. So it is important. I love the tips, especially, I know I'm going to drift off, but one of our hosts, Lisa Skinner, who her show is Truth, Lies, and Alzheimer's, who's an expert on this field. Love it when she does her shows and she gives off many tips. And I always ask her for that one tip to put on the blog. So tips are very important to people. And obviously coming from a reliable source is even better. So with this Frank King, who was a writer, what was he, a writer for Jay Leno?
Yes, he was a writer for Jay Leno.
I'm surprised. He speaks 11 languages.
It's amazing what you can do in your spare time.
Yes, I wish I had some spare time.
I think it's English, slang English, American English, English, Span English. Depending on what type of English you have, you can.
Yeah, and also Lisa Skinner, the first of the year, is going to be having some information that we're going to be putting out for her.
Absolutely. In January, she's going to be setting up her first free summit where she introduces people who are caregivers to Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's, which is also a neurological disease. My dad had Parkinson's, and it's a kind of disease that you have to make up your mind you're going to fight. It's like having cancer. You're either going to give up or you're going to say, I'm going to make you fight for every inch of my body before I succumb.
Right.
And that's exactly what he did. My son still has memories of his grandfather leaning over sideways, driving the car to get him to school. Never was in an accident, ever.
Well, that's lucky.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Again, yeah, but again, I really wanted to spotlight some of our hosts. Lisa Skinner is one of them. Betsy Wurzel is another. And you also, Lillian. I don't interview anymore. But at least like Lisa Skinner, she's a certified dementia care trainer through the Alzheimer's Association. She has 25 years of experience on being a counseling and also in the field of Alzheimer's disease. So she's well-versed and she's extremely an expert on the information she provides on a weekly basis on the blogs that she provides. So.
And the same thing with Betsy Wurzel. She may not have a degree, but she is a former nurse. And her husband had Alzheimer's for close to 20 years, is my understanding. And he had early onset Alzheimer's. When she first joined the station, she did a year-long program on caregiving for Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's patients, and picked up 1 million listeners, folks, because people really needed to know this stuff, because your doctor's not going to tell you. The closest they're going to get is say, find a nursing home, dump him or her, and then go on with your life. But if you're like a lot of people like me and Betsy, marriage is a covenant. You just don't throw people out like a piece of garbage when they get sick, whether it's physical sick or a mental sick.
I remember, when I first met Betsy, one night I happened to be on Facebook and all of a sudden I saw this woman talking. I don't know exactly at the time where she was talking, but I was surprised when I found out. And so I said, I'm going to talk to this person. And that's how the introduction happened. I contacted her and went from there. And what she was doing way back 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when she used to get frustrated, she was a caregiver for her husband. And when she got, sometimes life can get crazy. And so she would go out in her car and she'd do a little video, like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes. And these videos are extremely very interesting because she's talking from her heart as a caregiver, and she was learning her way also. So she has expertise herself as a caregiver, finding out what could work for him, what wouldn't work for him. She was his speaker for the doctor because doctors didn't really pay attention to the caregivers. So she was a groundbreaker on caregiving way back when no one was really discussing it. She has an excellent background on caregiving because she helped with her mother-in-law, she helped with her father, so she's been doing this for years. So her expertise is just as valuable as anyone else.
Absolutely. And we also would like to give a shout out to Dan Riley.
Yes.
Who is not considered, quote, normal, unquote, but he has proven that if you love to do something and you're passionate about it, you can come everything.
Mm-hmm. He does it. He does sports. But right now, Dan is into the mode of what's going on out in the world. He talks about different subjects now of what's happening, but he has a very good speaking that he does, and he really gets to the point of the subject. So if you ever have a chance to listen to Dan's shows, he's out there, and you can always go onto our website, Passionate World Talk Radio, and check out the host information, and Dan's information is out there.
Absolutely. And then we have a newcomer to the host team, Jackie Jones Hunt, and she wanders into the paranormal.
She really does, and she's absolutely has gotten a fast audience on this. She has different mediums that she speaks with, and she's well versed because she comes out from England, so she has a good audience out into the European area, and people love to hear. And she's a psychic, and she has a lot of different guests that come on and speak about how they got involved with this, the psychic realm, and what can they do to help out with any sort of dreams you may be having, or paranormal things that happen. She has a wealth of information from all her different guests also, but she also is a writer and author herself, and you can see her books up on Amazon.
Absolutely. So we just wanted our audience to know that we are growing. Yes, and if you have an inclination or secret passion to becoming a talk show host or a podcaster, contact us.
Right, definitely. We're really willing to discuss with you and find out what your thoughts are and what you want to create on the station. There's extremely many different opportunities, but the station is evolving itself. At some point, we've talked about bringing, something in from the holistic arena.
Absolutely.
They would be resources, because that's what it's about. I think our station is really good on also, is the amount of resources we can find and produce for you on these different blogs from these different hosts. And then what we would like is also, subscribe so that you can receive that blog. And you may like Betsy's blog, or you may like Lillian's blog from Cool Your Heels, or Dan's blog, but subscribe to it and let us know. I mean, it's great to listen to the shows, but once in a while, write into us or write to the host and, give some ideas of what you're looking for, of what you found from the resources from them, and how it helped you with your issues that were going on. So it's a two-way street for all of us, but I think it's a great station for finding resources.
Absolutely. People come to us to listen to what we have to say as hosts, but
Mhm.
more importantly, they come to listen to hear the information that is accessible to them 24/7.
Mhm.
They don't have to go run through a lot of hoops or circles or play phone tag
Mhm.
with someone in the establishment. All they have to do is turn it on, and there we are. And that does make a difference.
Oh, it does make a big
Especially,
difference. Yes.
yes,
It's like for Lisa Skinner. If once you subscribe, every Wednesday between 6 and 7 a.m., those blog is posted. And so on Wednesdays, you're going to get that blog from Lisa Skinner, and maybe she'll have some information that you've been looking for.
absolutely. The blogs are up there permanently. So if you wanted to look at something 9 months ago, guess what? It's there. In fact, I have to tell you, we have a podcast that's been on now for 2 years. When Betsy Wurzel interviewed a scientist about sharks in the English Channel. It is our most popular callback. Let me listen to it now podcast that was done 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. There is many shows like that people, it resonates with them. I think, like Betsy has a wealth of information about, listen, what do you also do some main things too for your authors, Lillian?
Yes, I do. And I make sure that they're heard and that their books are out there and you get to hear from them first time, primary
Mhm.
information that you need to know about. I mean,
Mhm.
people who write nonfiction books don't do it for glory, because there's no glory in writing a nonfiction book. But they are trying to share their expertise and their knowledge with you.
Right,
And it's a less expensive way of learning something
right.
than just going out and buying the book and saying, uh-oh, this is not the one I want.
Betsy also does very well now. If anyone wants to book her for an interview, I think it's April or May of next year. She's up to that time of booking.
Yeah, well, that tells you how popular
Yeah.
she is and how good she is. Because if
Yes,
you were a rotten host and couldn't get out the word about what your guest is up to, she wouldn't be in demand.
right. And she's in big demand, and they will wait, and she'll tell them. And they say, fine, we'll wait. Because that's how good she is as a host, because she does a variety now of different types of interviews. She does also the caregiving. There's no question that's her first most, but she also has wonderful guests that they're entrepreneurs. They're doing spectacular things that we would have not have heard about if it wasn't for Betsy, right, Lillian?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So you need to be on your toes about what's going on currently and what is upcoming to the station. You do not want to miss
You really
even
don't want
one
to miss.
event.
Yeah, you don't want to miss any of the shows. You really don't. They're all good in their own right. And where can you go to get this kind of resources from a woman-run radio station? This is phenomenal for us to be able to have the amount of resources we have now. And it's because of the host also, and the audience that they're bringing in, and the guests that they're bringing in. And people need to know that we are a very reliable station. And the station is getting bigger now, but we would like you, if you're possible, is to subscribe to those blogs. Write us, let us know what you're thinking. Communication is wonderful.
Absolutely. So how do you write to us? Well, it's pretty simple. Our company email is pwrnetworkllc@gmail.com. Or if you can't remember that, it's gmnllcc@gmail.com. Or you can text us at 484-364-1032. And as I tell everybody, between 24 and 72 hours, you should have a response.
We have other hosts in our station too, but we could go on and on and on and tell how wonderful they all are, you know. Take a minute, listen to, go in. You know what I think is also great because of the categories, you know how I have so many categories. You're just about to be able to find any category that you're looking for on our website. So there's another place where you can find, you know, like dementia or, you know, depression. You can find all that information there. And then we're also, didn't we talk about the authors also, Lillian?
Yes, we have a plethora of authors who come in and talk about their books. And the books are on the blogs that Jeannie puts out. A JPEG, bit.ly URL, which bit.ly shortens the URL so you're not spending a long time spelling words that are 200 letters long.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We also have the QR codes we produce for the
We have the
authors.
QR codes we produce.
So if we were thinking about this too, aren't we talking about authors? They have a hard time promoting their books. If they
Yes,
wanted to come on to do a like a 5-minute, 10-minute video on their book, and we make a little blog for them. Obviously, there's fees involved there, but certainly if I don't remove that blog, it's there for life, and you also get a QR code.
so all the people have to do is click on the QR code. And folks, you have to agree with me. That's how our technology is progressing. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
on TV, they put the QR codes right on the screen and tell you, bring your phone up and click on it. So
Right.
it's not anything new anymore.
No, it's
And
not.
by this time next year, it will be very old and something else will replace it.
Right.
So deal with something you already understand now. Why wait for the future?
Right. But we just wanted to introduce our shows and what's going on and let you know that we're here. And every 2 weeks, we're going to be on. And if you'd like to know the time and date and you want to come on and send us a chat or something, we're more than happy to hear from you and get to know you, and you get to know us.
Absolutely. So I don't have a personal email, but you can contact me at pwrnetworkllc@gmail.com. Attention Lillian, and that will get my attention. Jeannie, your email, please.
We lost you for a while, Lillian, so you'll have to.
Okay, well, I'm saying that my email is pwrnetworkllc@gmail.com. And you can find Jeannie and please provide your email, Jeannie.
Well, I have two of them, but I have jwhite7033@comcast.net, and I also have the Connect Show at gmail.com.
Great. So we want to thank everybody for joining us this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You will find us at the website on the blog, passionateworldtalkradio.com. You'll also find us in youtube.com/PW Network _PW Talk Radio. Also on Facebook.com/Passionate World Radio. Also on
Instagram
at PWTR. So we're there, and I can guarantee that if you Google us, the first 10 pages are devoted to us and all our hosts and all
But if you Google us, I've tried it, PWTRN.
Yes.
And you'll find a lot of information on us. We're reliable. Yeah, we're really good, and we'd love to hear from you. And we're going to do this again in 2 weeks, but it may be another subject for doing for someone. Who knows? But join in.
Absolutely. So thank you very much for listening. And remember, in 2 weeks, we're back. Have a good week, ladies and gentlemen.